Hey, 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 how's everybody doing today? What a morning this is turning out to be. I'm lucky to be able to be streaming today, that I didn't absolutely destroy my computer. Okay, yeah, now you caught me off guard there for a second there, Josh. I was like, okay, and what is he responding to? And it's like, oh, okay, your second post there uh, clarified for me. I was going to say, did I miss? I'm not. Am I missing? Somebody posted something somewhere that I'm not seeing. Anyway, let's see here. I'll get to that here in a few minutes. But yeah, what? Oh man, blow my ears out, man! Shut that volume off. Damn. The it's carrying the laptop out of the bedroom where I keep it to the living room to where I stream from, and the my right hand decided that it just wasn't going to hold the. Um, I've got the oversized cutting board that I keep everything on, and I almost dropped my laptop onto the tile floor. If that had happened, there would have been no stream today. I would have had to wait until I could have gone to Best Buy and ordered a new laptop. But man, that's that was a scary few minutes here this morning. And then evidently I forgot to charge my headset and mic after I streamed yesterday. So that I had to charge that up real quick. Fortunately, it only takes about an hour and a half to take it from completely dead to fully charged. So that took care of that problem. I got that done in time too. You guys will have, Josh, you're going to have to. I don't know if it's a lack of caffeine or what. My stupid dog this morning. I was not feeling good last night. I crawled into bed actually, I fell asleep on the couch at like 6 o'clock. And I went back, crawled into bed at 9. The wife woke me up when she got home from the grandson's ball game. Sat up for about 45 minutes with her, watching the videos. My grandson got two good hits yesterday. One went foul, unfortunately, and the other one got him he hit all the way into the outfield. So he was able to get on base. He didn't score, but he was able to get on base. So I wish I'd been there to see it, but I wasn't able to. But she got it on video, so I was able to watch it on the video when I got home, when she got home. But this morning, we decided last night that I wasn't going to get up at 4 o'clock this morning. I was just going to sleep until 5:30. 5 till 4. My puppy decided that his bladder just wasn't going to wait, and he come up, and he's used to me getting up to get it and let him outside. So he come up and jumped up into bed and started pawing at me to get out of bed so he could go outside, which, hey, that's fine, you know. I'd rather have him wake me up and get him outside than have him piss in the house. Oh, fantastic. 2 terabyte. Oh, hey, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, I finally upgraded my primary drive on this computer to a 1 terabyte. My backup is also 1 terabyte. So, but that's all this computer can handle. But they're both SSDs. So, uh, when I get, if I do upgrade to another computer, which I think I'm going to plan on upgrading next year. Um, I really love these Asus ROG laptops, the Republica Gaming laptops. My last couple of them have been their Republica Gaming laptops. I really do love them. They're a good, solid machine. Um, the air vents are on top and in the back instead of on the bottom. So, their intake is on top of the laptop and the exhaust is in the back. So that means you can actually have it laying flat on a table or something and not worry about having, either your intake blocked or the exhaust blocked. Oh, yeah. Isn't that amazing how you got used to, okay, start the computer and run over and start my cup of coffee? I mean, that's the way my little office computer is. Start, hit the power button, go make 2 8-ounce cups of coffee, come back, put in my password, go back over, put a slice of toast in, come back, open, click on the programs I need to have open, which is Chrome. Open up Chrome, go to open Chrome, then open up the specific tabs that I need opened, and it just then go back over. By that time, you know, my toast is done. I can go over, butter up my toast, put some pumpkin spread across one and apple butter on the other one. Got my cup of coffee and I'm good to go. Maybe, Josh, maybe it's because of the way Dells were 30 years ago, 20 years ago. It's like Apple. You can't afford to pay. You couldn't afford to pay me to buy a Dell and use it as my daily computer. But then I haven't owned a Dell or even used a Dell in 25 years. So I've gotten, I started buying the Asus Republic of Gamers back when I was really heavy into World of Warcraft. And I needed something that could handle that graphic load. And the that's what was recommended. It was a $1,300 computer 10, 15 years ago. And still I can get a modern day equivalent computer as far as handling that kind of a workload, the modern day workloads for still around $1,500. So, okay, well, that's a nice thing, Josh. We all have our own personal taste. And I don't. It's like my bosses love Apple. They just absolutely love Apple. Everything they own is Apple, and I can't stand Apple. And it's not because of their products being bad; it's the company itself. So I won't have anything to do with Apple. I won't own any Apple products. But again, that's me, in my opinion. My daughter-in-law, she's got an Apple. She's an Apple fanatic. Her personal laptop is a MacBook. She's got the Apple phone. She's got this Apple, that Apple. My son, he's takes after me. His laptop is a Windows based product, Samsung cell phone, and except they both like their PlayStations. Oh yeah, if you gave me an Apple and said I had to use it, if somebody come in and hand me a brand new Apple and said I had to use it for 6 months, and if I used it for 6 months, they would give me a $2,000. I would use it for the 6 months. And as soon as they gave me the $2,000, I'd take that Apple down to the pawn shop, pawn it for whatever I could get for it, or take it down and trade it in for whatever I could get on trade in for it, to get and use that $2,000 that they gave me to get whatever computer I could afford to get with that money. I've used PayPal for so long that that I don't get like giving out my credit card or debit card numbers to independent, small company purchases. Um, it's like the cooking guild. I don't want to give them my credit card number, so I don't. I make my purchases to them through PayPal. At least that puts somebody between me and them as far as my card goes. Oh, I have no intention on getting rid of this computer until it breaks, because I'm not playing. The heaviest graphics thing I do anymore is 7 days, and I haven't played that now in about a month. So I don't do graphics intensive stuff on a regular basis anymore. So yeah. Okay. Um, Yesterday we talked about, or I talked about the um, Kamala kicking people out of her rally. And when one of them said, Jesus is the Lord, and the other one said, Christ is the King. And she said, y'all are at the wrong rally. You should be at the smaller one down the street. Words to that effect. But that was, that I guess that happened Saturday night. Well, Sunday morning, she went to a church, the New Birth Church in Georgia. Now, I've seen video, and it's a waste of time video. I'm just going to be honest. It's a waste of time video of people being escorted out of the church after Kamala was let in. What was said is open to conjecture. Since there is no actual video that's been released that I know of what these people said that managed to make the church mad enough to physically remove them from the church. I don't know. But these are supposedly were church members, not just people that walked in off the street. Not, they were actual members of the church that got carried out of the church, or not carried, but escorted out of the church for comments they said evidently negative of Kamala. Again, to my knowledge, there is no video showing exactly what transpired. But it's there. It's happening. It happened. And it is starting to cause between these two incidences, it is starting to cause a ripple among some Christian groups, Christian and Catholic groups. The two young men that were kicked out, evidently, I believe they were both Catholic. And then this church here, this New Birth Church, I don't know much about it. It's a majority black church. But that's about it. But like I said, it is really there's on various, if you go into the Christian, the Catholic and the Christian side of YouTube, of TikTok, of X, there's a lot of very negative talk about Kamala. Some of it goes way over she's Satan's spawn, she's the devil incarnate, That's just, examples of way some of the more extreme are talking. To the more moderate views of, you know, supposedly she's belonged to the same church for 20 some years. But she also supposedly, again, to other reports, follows the Hindu faith. Now, I know Hindus. I work for practicing Hindus. And there's no way that these people, as practicing Hindus, would also attend a Christian church, let alone be members of a Christian church for other than a wedding or maybe a baptismal of if they were particularly close to the family. But that's about it. I mean, they're not disrespectful of Christians. But they're not Christians. They don't follow Christianity, any of the sects, and they wouldn't join a Christian church. So it's interesting that they would, on one hand, she's a practicing Hindu due to her being raised by her Hindu mother in Canada. But also celebrates Kwanzaa and also is a member of a Christian church. So, I mean, the math ain't mathing. And I'm not the only one that appears that is looking at this and just sort of wondering what, and it's like her accent. What religious robe she's going to be wearing is going to be depending upon the group she's talking to. Well, I mean, I'm a member of the Christian church. Okay. But anyway, I'm trying not to get into theological discussions here. But when you lie about your religious beliefs to people, to the public, I have a problem. I have a real problem with that. I mean, I can respect a person who comes out and says, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Celtic pagan, I'm a Norse pagan, I'm this, I'm that. Okay, I will respect you. I may not agree with your religion, But I will respect you if you come out and you flat right say, this is the religion I belong to. I can live with that. But when you come out and your friends all tell your friends that you grew up with all say you're a practicing Hindu, and then you take on the airs of being a member of an organization that celebrates Kwanzaa, and then you come out and kick people for expressing, then you say you're a Christian, but you kick people out of your rally and mock them for expressing basic tenets of the Christian religion. Then the next day or the 2 days later, you go to a church and there's a kerfluffle of type to where members of the church are escorted out. Hey, Neil, good morning. So there's a problem there. And this is a problem that seems to be growing again. Like it, most issues of this type grow anymore on social media first. Because, as we all know, you know, or we all should know, social media is it's a wonderful two-edged sword. The wonderful side is people can get together, like minds can get together, talk, converse, take joy in each other's company about the particular subject. All right. I get into political groups. I have fun with that. I get into sci fi groups. I have fun with that. I get into literature groups. I have fun. I get into the religious groups. Again, I have fun. All right. Get into law. I have fun. The different aspects of my personality can go to these different groupings within the social media, talk to other people who have the same interest. I can learn something. I might be able to teach something, and everything's fine. But in the same way, it's a very, I started to say evil, and I don't know if that's the right word or not, but you get the same thing, just the opposite end of the coin. You get the people together who are the misfits, the social misfits, that the social outcast. And rather than getting in and expressing joy and happiness at they found each other, they do nothing but sit there and file complaints about something. And little events grow, and things that would the embers would die out in a matter of days don't die out. They grow in, flames, fire, forest fire, yada yada yada. I mean, we've heard the analogy before. Oh, Josh, Neil, I am so sorry to hear that. Your family has my deepest sympathies. So I think they'll, this whole problem here, could it get, people are going to find reasons not to vote for Kamala. People are going to find reasons not to vote for Trump. The much as the left wing media played up the Kamala going into a diner in Pennsylvania and meeting the people while ignoring the fact that that diner kicked everybody out that was already there and they bust in their own supporters. They downplayed the staging of that event because they wanted to upplay the fact that she was meeting ordinary people. But when Trump goes to Burger King, or McDonald's rather, they are going after him for it's a staged photo op. They shut the McDonald's down for the day. McDonald's lost 0.53% in their stock the day after Trump worked at McDonald's. Oh, did Trump actually work at McDonald's? Did he actually get hired at McDonald's? Is he going to get W-9 from McDonald's? Now, this is stuff that I've seen on the internet, and some of it by ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, just all kinds of news organizations. Instead of Trump, actually working the fryer, actually handing the bags of food out and talking to people. One of the stories I have here, let's see if I can find it. I know I've got it open. I've got it open here. Well, I thought I had it open. No, that's not it. No, evidently I don't have it open anymore. Evidently I don't have it open anymore. Oh, okay. Oh, thank God. Okay, wait a minute. I got one more audio just popped up. Right there it is. There we go. I had a bunch of audio. The one thing I hate about Fox News and a couple other channels is their videos start playing And when you pause them, they start playing again later on. So now I've lost track. Oh, there was an interview of some of the people that went through the line there at the Mickey D's. And they said, well, yeah, we knew something was going on because of the security, enhanced security. We didn't know that was going to be Trump there. And we didn't know Trump was going to be the one handing us our food. So, according to the people that were interviewed, they were just as surprised to see Trump as you could possibly be, and to actually get to talk to him. Now, that's their words in the interview. True or not, I make no assertions. But Kamala, all right, so let me open this. I am stealing a Megan Fox. I think that, yeah, or Megan Kelly. Megan Fox. Why did I say Megan Fox? I don't know. This here's a Megan Kelly video. And it was the only place I could find this video dealing with Maria Shriver it's Megan Kelly talking about Maria Shriver at a Kamala quote unquote town hall. Okay.
Johnson on the CBS Sunday Show and the VP debate moderator, Margaret Brennan, who asks him a question about hurricane relief. And I'm going to show you the...
Oh, no, wrong video. All right. Let's see if I can find it. That's not it. Here it is. All right. And turn the volume up. There we go. This is Maria Shriver. This is a Newsmax video. Maria Shriver was hosting a Kamala town hall. You can see the Kamala Country Over party. Maria Shriver, she sort of screwed up here.
You're not, unfortunately. We have some predetermined questions, and hopefully I'll be able to ask some of the questions that might be in your head.
Okay. The woman asked, or somebody asked, if they're going to be able to ask Kamala questions.
You're not, unfortunately. We have some predetermined questions, and hopefully I'll be able to ask some of the questions that might be in your head. You're not, unfortunately.
So right there, Shriver screws up and says, sorry, yeah, this is her town hall, but we've already, sat down with Kamala. We've picked out the questions so that she can come up, her and her staff can come up with the answers so that she sounds intelligent and not have to repeat the same phrase over and over and over again. There's a news clip out or a video clip out there where she says working together 5 times in 30 seconds. It's amazing to watch. Every 5 seconds, she's saying we need to work, we're working together. Josh, she absolutely can win. All right. I continue to be one of those that believe that Trump won the last election. If the ballots had been counted correctly, if everything had been done the way it's supposed to be, especially in Fulton County, Georgia, in Michigan, in Maricopa County, Arizona, in Philadelphia, I honestly believe that Trump would have won. I do. There's plenty of provable election fraud that happened last presidential election. But the Democrats and the anti-Trumpers were not going to have it. I'm more angry at the anti-Trumpers, the Republicans who turned their backs on Trump, than I am at the Democrats. I expect the Democrats to play dirty. I expect that. But people like Liz Cheney and Zinger, people like them, I absolutely despise and hope for nothing but the worst for them. Pray that they have to live under the most miserable conditions possible for what they've done. No, I don't think it's just money. I think it's power. And of course, with power, you get money. But Nancy Pelosi's got millions. She's just after the power at this point. She couldn't spend all the money she wanted that she's got now. She tried hard. When Nancy and her husband die, her daughter is going to be extremely wealthy. Oh, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, you're right. I should not fail to mention that is the truth. New Jersey mob, if I remember correctly. But yeah, is there a possibility that Kamala can win this election? Yes. Yes, there is. How many bicycle carriers keep dropping off 30, 40, 50, 100 ballots at a time at drop boxes at 2 o'clock in the morning? How many mail carriers showing up at 3 o'clock in the morning after everybody's supposedly gone home and drop off a truckload of ballots? How many post offices backdating ballots or thrown away ballots that they know come from Republicans? That all happened last election. That all happened. $3:00 in the morning, all the Republican employees and watchers sent home. And all of a sudden, boxes and boxes and boxes of ballots show up to be run through the machines. Everybody's sent home because the water lines break, supposedly. But then boxes of ballots pop up that need to be counted. So yeah, there were issues. There were issues. There's going to be issues this year. There are issues California not requiring the voter a ID in order to register to vote. You don't have to prove you're a citizen to vote. You don't have to show an ID in order to cast a ballot. Oh, I don't have your name here. Well, here's a provincial ballot. We're going to count it anyway, but here you go. Oh, you don't speak any English whatsoever? No problem. Here, we got a ballot for you in Spanish. Oh, you've only been here 6 months? Well, here you go. Here's a ballot. James O'Keefe released a video yesterday, day before, of places in the New York, in the Bronx, I believe, taking bribes from illegals to show that they've been living at a church or at a homeless shelter for the past week, and therefore can be considered residents. Yeah, I didn't mean to get into this story quite now, but since we've gotten into illegals, let me find it. Well, before we go to illegals, we talked about Act Blue a couple of weeks ago, maybe last month or the month before. And Act Blue showing donations from people every 2 hours and every 3 hours. And when they went to talk to the people showing the Act Blue was showing these donations came from, they're sitting there going, there's no way I could afford to make all them donations. They're showing them making thousands of dollars worth of donations in a week. And over time, making more donations than what the people actually earned. Texas AG opens investigation to suspicious donations made to Harris campaign through Democratic group. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is sounding the alarm about a popular progressive fundraising platform he says interfering with the presidential election. Our investigation into Act Blue has uncovered facts indicating bad actors can illegally interfere with American elections by disguising political donations. It is imperative the FEC close off avenues we have identified by which foreign contributions or contributions in excess of legal limits can lawfully be funded to political campaigns by bypassing finance regulations and compromising our electoral system. In 2023, Paxton opened an investigation into Act Blue to determine whether the platform's operations were compliant with all applicable laws. Then in 24, Paxson revealed Investigation Act Blue determined the group had begun requiring donors to use credit cards to provide the CVV codes. However, Paxson said it appeared the straw donations were systematically being made using false identities through untraceable methods. Calling on the FEC to immediately begin rulemaking to secure our elections from any criminal actors exploiting these vulnerabilities. Act Blue targets small donor donations and has been an integral part of the Democratic fundraising structure, collecting an estimated $1.5 billion from 7 million donors. While that influx of cash was split among 19,000 campaigns, an excessive amount was gone directly to high profile. In the first days of the Harris campaign, donors gave her $200 million through the platform per Act Blue's account on social platform X. In September, Representative Brian Stell of Wisconsin introduced a bill that required political committees to collect CVVs, the 3 or 4 digit card verification value on the back of a credit card, or front if it's a American Express, along with political donations. Stell, who chairs the Committee of House Administration, sent a letter to FEC urging them to immediately initiate emergency rulemaking to require political campaigns to verify a card. Whoa, that jumped ugly. To verify card verification, CVV, of donors who contribute online. The August 5th request came in response to accusations Act Blue's campaign donation laws that allow for rampant fraud on the site. Last August, Representative Claudia Turney of New York also sent a letter to the FEC demanding investigation into the same allegations Paxson has now brought to attention. So Act Blue has been under on a lot of people's sites for a while. And I honestly believe, once again, my own personal opinion, that they are extremely crooked. And this is, earlier I said, social media can be used for a lot of good things as well as bad for the same reason. Now, I've sent off my letters about Act Blue, along with, the reports I've seen from other sources, hoping Congress critters would get their act together and demand investigations into them. But it's led to very little happening. And probably will until there is a severe change in the direction of our government. Let's see. Oh, great. Josh, you got to be careful with ferrets. I used to pet sit ferrets for a friend of mine. And that's where I learned that if you've got one ferret, you absolutely have to have 2. Because otherwise, come mating season, you could be in for a lot of trouble. The guy that recorded Ashley Babbitt had ties to Act Blue? Oh. Okay. That I did not know. I will have to look into that. I honestly do not remember even getting the name of the guy that recorded. Because the FEC is not doing anything. And they're not responding to the congressman's request for information about what they've done. And they're declining to comment to the news media. And of course, Act Blue is saying, no, we're not going to talk to you guys. Here we go. Here's what I was talking about earlier. Whistleblowers have also reported the receipt of significant number of donations from retirees living on fixed incomes and hundreds of donations from 250 from the same individual. That's what I was talking about earlier. You know, $2, $3, $4 donations, but they're making hundreds of them. And, you know, the cumulative effect is that come up to more money than what the individuals make in a year. I wish it would have linked to that. Let's see here. And what's this? Let's see here. Well, and since we talked about this here, sort of brought it up, because we are, this train's jumping tracks here all over the place here today. Migrants caught at border bus and flown out of San Diego in possible cover-up before the election. From September 2023 through June 2024, roughly 155,000 illegals were released into San Diego. If they can, at 155, I was watching Charlie, I think it was Charlie Kirk, one of his campus things. And I know a lot of people have got a lot of bad things to say about Charlie Kirk. A lot, you know, they don't like him. I'm not going to say I'm 100% supporter of his, but I agree with a lot of what he says and at least posts on the internet. One of the students who is a Polish immigrant into the United States attending this college said that in Poland, if you attempt to illegally enter Poland, there's been instances of them being shot, not just captured and returned to the border, but shot. And he asked, why is the United States so lenient when it comes to illegals here? Oh, okay. Oh, I know who you're talking about. You're okay. No, I remember the guy you're talking about now. Yeah, he was a definite plant. I didn't realize he was down there in that corridor with Ashley Babbitt because I know that little scum bucket was out in front of the Capitol with his Trump hat on, wearing his bandana to cover the lower part of his face. I want to say it was a blue bandana. And he was saying that, this, urging people to enter the Capitol. He's one of the ones that took down the barricades. Yeah, okay, Neil. Boy, as soon as it was the part you said where he had to pay back the money, that, okay, it registered who he was. I don't remember his name, but I remember seeing his scrawny little butt and everything going on. I watched part of it live. I didn't watch all of it live because I got disgusted. I got absolutely disgusted because I knew what was going to happen. You know, um, if Trump ever came up here to the panhandle of Florida again, uh, like I was lucky. I got to attend the G.W. Bush rally in up here in the panhandle of Florida. And it was good. It was a fun thing to go to. GW was there, and he gave his speech. It was my only regret is I didn't take anything to sit down on, and my legs were killing me by the end of it. But it was, so I've learned that lesson. I'm tempted to buy one of those stroller things, that adults use to sit on. Uh, when I go to some of these events, keep it in the back of the wife's car, keep it in my truck. But anyway. Yeah, yep. That was him, Neil. That was him. But you would think with all the stuff going on in this country, I mean, look at, y'all have heard about Roswell, New Mexico, and all the water flooding that's going on in Roswell, of all places, out in the middle of the desert. And they got a 6 months worth of rain all in less than 24 hours. Absolutely unbelievable. Federal government's been busing and flying illegal immigrants caught as California has overwhelmed southern border out of state. Instead of potentially reverting to release them onto the street over fears that would look bad just weeks before the November election. San Diego County, hey, Kamala saying she's going, that she wants the wall. Her advertisements show the wall, show Trump's wall in a good light. Why are they releasing illegals back into the country? And why isn't Trump and Vance making notice of this? Why aren't the Republicans making notice of this? That they're releasing illegals into the country again. Until June, migrants from illegals in San Diego were dropped off at the train station. Currently, 3 buses leave the county daily to take the illegals to Yuma, Arizona. Additionally, 3 to 4 airplanes are flying the illegals weekly from San Diego to McAllen, Texas. McAllen, Texas. It appears the federal government's trying to cover up by busing people out of the area instead of doing street releases. Now, I understand why CBS, NBC, the other networks aren't covering this. This is Fox News. But why? And this here answers why. New Yorker writer admits he's never met a Trump supporter at work in his 15-year media career. So, yes, there is a liberal bias to the news. Well, welcome to the real world. Welcome to the real world. Jay Caspin Kang, a staff writer for The New Yorker, ascribed media bias not to a conspiracy among journalists, but to the fact the overwhelming majority of journalists are left-leaning. Kang wrote a piece for The New Yorker, How Biased is the Media Really? In response to a recent Gallup poll showing Americans' trust in mass media remains not only historically low, but consistently abysmal for the 3rd year in a row. Well, we can't trust the media to be telling us the truth. CBS editing. Keep this in CBS editing responses by politicians to either make them look bad or make them look good, rather than playing back their entire response. He responded by addressing multiple common critiques from Americans on both sides of the political spectrum, including the accusation that every news organization that feigns objectivity is actually heavily slanted towards the left. Not only that, but the media is actively working with Democrats to defeat Donald Trump. And that's true. From what I can see across the board, every question Donald Trump has asked when it comes to the media, with the occasional exception of Fox News, is hostile. Yet Kamala, she's asked questions and said, well, is it because of A, or is it because of B, or is it because of C? She's not only asked a softball question, but she's given choices of answers. Or she decides not to answer and go into a word salad. The person just stands there nodding their head like that damn dog in the back seat of your car. And lets her ramble on like she's expressing the words of the wisdom, the wisest words of wisdom ever bequeathed to mankind. The most obvious explanation for this impression is that the press corps is mostly made up of liberals. At prestigious outlets, Many do don the armor of impartiality, then balance skews a lot further to the left than what many outsiders would imagine. Nah, 90. I would be surprised if it's less than 97 or 98% left leaners. And if you told me some networks, some newsrooms were 100% to the left, I'd be like, okay, and it's Monday. You recall UT Berliner emerging as a whistleblower against NPR and the rise of progressive identity politics. Yes, he lost his job. But argued the effect of such politics on journalism is ultimately negligible, with the effect that nearly everybody who works in the media are college-educated Democratic voters from the middle to upper-class families. And there's the problem. College-educated. I don't have that graph. There's a graph that showed the different course studies, college level course studies. And it was red and blue, showing identified liberal, identified Democrat, identified Republican professors. And it didn't get down until the lower end of the more strongly STEM fields that it got anywhere near a 50-50 balance. It never quite achieved a 50-50 balance. But the vast majority, I mean, let's just look at what's happened here this past year at the colleges with the pro-Palestine, anti-Israel protest since last October, not October 2024, but October 2023, October 7th. If that had been any other group except the Jewish students being treated the way they were, the riot police would have been called out. Kids would have been expelled and suspended. And I still say to this day, any legal immigrant here on a student visa that participated in those protests need to have their visas, should have had their visas revoked and deported back to their home countries. Raman, good morning. Glad to see you, young lady. I hope you're feeling better today. Where? Oh, I must have accidentally closed that tab. Son of a gun. That was foolish on my part. Close that one because I don't need that. So yeah, we do have an extremely liberal colleges. Professors, there was that professor just within the past few weeks saying any male who doesn't vote for Kamala needs to be shot. He said that in front of the class. Now he was fired, But he felt awful damn comfortable saying it. He felt awful. He felt comfortable enough in his classroom to say it. Now, I did say, oh, wait a minute. Edit that out of the video. I don't need the college administrators to see it. But it's like I said yesterday. In regards to that doctor from the UK. If you felt comfortable enough to say it, and you feel the need later on come back out and apologize for it afterwards, you're not apologizing because you felt that way. You're apologizing hoping you don't get in trouble for feeling that way or believing what you believe. That's the only reason why you'd be apologizing. Oh yeah, no. And and see now though we've gotten this so badly. There is a video out there, kindergarten teacher or teacher's aide, kindergarten teacher's aide. He's a TA. He, she, it is a TA. When the kids in the class ask them, are you a boy or a girl? He goes, well, that's an interesting question. What is a boy? What is a girl? Well, did you know you could be a boy today and a girl tomorrow? Or you could be a girl tomorrow and a boy day after? Because you know you don't have to be either a boy or a girl. And he's doing this to kindergarten kids. Okay, I'm going to have to look that person up, Neil, because the name is not ringing a bell. But yeah, there's plenty. I mean, video of teachers and professors attacking. I mean, let's just go back to the what's her name at was it Brown University? Tried to kick the reporter, yelled for the guards or help in kicking a reporter off the campus. Okay, let's see here. I'm opening that link now, Neil. Get past the Kamala ad. Boy, I tell you, Kamala's got more ads out there. I hardly ever see the Trump ads on the internet. Man, I sure see a ton of Kamala ads. Wait a minute, she wants her. Oh, this was the Antifa woman. Yeah. Okay. Now I remember who you're talking about. Now I remember who you're talking about. Oh man, you're really going back in the time machine for her. Yeah, now I remember her. Yeah, yes. Boy, that the Berkeley Antifa, she'd go up and hit people, then run away. Coward little wench that she was. All right. Let me get to this other article before I um, well, you remember earlier I was talking about the liberals being mad about Trump having a stage setting at the McDonald's? Let's really show one of the more famous staged photographs in recent American government history. Y'all remember when this photograph was taken? Yeah, that's AOC proclaiming that she's crying about the illegals when she's standing outside of an empty parking lot. Talk about a stage photograph. And besides the photographer that took the picture, you got this woman who's a photographer. You got this guy back there who's a photographer. Yeah. You know, and the Democrats want to complain about staged events. All right, let's see here. This is something kind of new to me. It's called sideshows. And evidently, it's a new term for the cars or car groups get together. At least I think it's a new term. It's only recently I've heard this term pop up. They get together and they're doing wheelies and donuts and crap in the intersections of neighborhoods or in a parking lot, that kind of stuff. Let me share this screen here, and then I will embiggen the picture, the video. All right, here we go. Well, turn the audio on.
Spilled from the street onto their house.
What it looked like in Vallejo Saturday night into Sunday morning. Vallejo PD say they believe there were between 350 and 400 people involved in sideshows all across town. Neighbors we talk with are angry and say they've had enough.
Had I known that they were doing sideshows, I wouldn't have never moved here.
That's Patricia Williams. I talked with her and her husband, Paul, who have now lived in Vallejo for 4.5 years. This is what it looked like in their front yard when the sideshows happened overnight. People for as far as you could see. The Williams sent us these photos showing the damage done to their lights, their gutters, and their roof.
Look at the damage to that roof of that house. There's thousands of dollars worth of damage. Now, I think isn't this a Starlink Wi-Fi, internet access hookup thing there?
After people at the sideshow started climbing onto their home.
Man, we were sleep. Okay, it literally woke us up. Somebody could have got killed out here, hurt. You know what I mean?
The striking point was when they were on my property, on my roof, and this caused some damage that now we have to pay for. And enough is enough. The city or the police, they need to come out. I don't care if you got 2 officers. You need to know what these sideshows are because you need to put a stop to it.
Police tell me there were multiple sideshows like this in Vallejo Saturday night into Sunday morning. They did respond to at least one, with mutual aid from Solano and Napa County Sheriff's offices and American Canyon Police. No arrests were made and no cars impounded. At least one person was hurt, but they weren't cooperative with officers. Williams are upset, saying they called police at least twice.
All right, that's enough of that. Okay, but you see, the problem is here, Vallejo is saying that they didn't have enough police, that they've only got had 2 cops on duty that night. All right. The problem is, defund the police happened. This California city defunded its police force. Yeah. This article was 4 years ago. "12 years ago, officials in Vallejo, California took a step that activists now are urging across the country. Reluctantly took a step. They defunded their police department. Unable to pay its bills after the 2008 financial crisis, Vallejo filed for bankruptcy and cut its police force nearly in half, from 100 to fewer than 80, from a high of 150. And they still have not increased the number of their police. They cut their police force, never rehired, brought it back up to where it needed to be. And now they've got people, these sideshows, 6 of them in one night. Now, that wasn't done accidentally, obviously. They planned on that because, that overwhelms the police departments. But being in California, these homeowners aren't allowed to defend and protect their property. Now, if this were to come and happen in Florida, while I would not advocate the use of deadly force, a fine, back when I was growing up in the farmlands of Ohio, we would go out and raid farmers' fields in the fall, looking for watermelons and pumpkins. Now, was it right for us to go into other farmers' fields and steal their watermelons and pumpkins? No. But it's not like we were taking a lot of them. I mean, we may take 2 or 3 as a group. Each, there may be, I would get a pumpkin or I would get a watermelon. And they go running down the field to my bicycle, or when I got older to the car, and jump in and take off. But the farmers had a way around that called rock salt. They would take their shotgun shells, and rather than reloading them with BBs, they just fill them with rock salt. That would get, y'all have heard the saying, pouring salt into an open wound. All that did was pour salt into the wound. You got hurt, then they'd pour salt on it. Well, now salt in an open wound hurts like hell. And when that rock salt gets inside your butt or in your back, and you go and, it's sitting there and that salt is dissolving in underneath the skin. It burns like hell. So you got the pain of being shot with the rock salt to start with. Then you got that rock salt dissolving inside of you. That's usually keeps you out of that farmer's field and usually any other field for a few weeks. And by that time, the crops would be pulled in and the farmer didn't have to worry about it anymore. That would be in situations like that, that's what I'd be advocating. Going out and telling them to get off my property. You're not getting off the property. We've called the police. They don't get off the property. Unloading rock salt into their asses. Just start shooting them in the back with rock salt. You wouldn't have to do more than a few. And the rest would scatter like the bunch of little cowards that they are. Now, Florida's got a law, and I think it's been misused. It's been misused quite a bit by some of the police departments down in southern Florida, to where they use this law to write tickets or arrest anybody using a camera on the sidewalks. But Florida's got this law that if you're out photographing these sideshows, these events, that you can be arrested, and it is a jailable offense, misdemeanor. I think it's like 30 days. Yeah, that's it, Neil. I'm going to be honest. I got salted a couple of times in my younger life. One time, I think it was the last time I ever did it. I got salted. I jumped out of the farmer's field, landed in a ditch full of water. Oh, that did nothing but aggravate that. My butt still hurts. I know I had scars on my butt for years. Dimples where that salt had hit my butt. So, but yeah, that would be the fit. But I'm sure you get rock salt into a few of these people doing that shit. But in California, you'd be arrested for attempted murder. There was a parent just arrested. I want to say this was in Texas. She was just arrested. Her son was being a little bit of a pain in the butt one day. Picked him up from school or from the playground and wouldn't behave in the back seat of the car. So about a half mile from the house, mom made him get out of the car and told him to walk home. This is in suburbia, sidewalk the whole way. It's not downtown Houston or downtown Austin or downtown Atlanta, anything like that. So the kid's walking home, about a half mile walk, and some old biddy calls the police about this kid walking down the sidewalk by himself. The kid's 8 years old. Well, the police show up, they pick the kid up, find out where he lives, takes him home. They arrest his mother. And charge her with felony child abuse, child endangerment, and something else, another charge dealing with the state. And the lawyers wanted several thousands of dollars for her to, if she was to take it to trial. So they convinced her to plead guilty to some lesser charges. But there's still felony charges. She lost her job. She's now a convicted felon, so that means there's no guns in the house. And the kid is no longer allowed to be even in the car alone at a convenience store. He's not allowed to walk to the playground park down the street by himself. All because there might be some old biddy pick up the phone, call the police, and have the mother arrested again. That's the family's fear. What I'm just absolutely amazed. I mean, when I was a kid, my parents didn't know where I was half the time on Saturdays. After the chores were done, and we got on our and we as long as we're back in the yard, well, back in the house, by the time the sun hit the horizon, my parents didn't know where we were for the most part. We could be out in the woods. We could be out in the fields. We could be down at a neighbor's house. We could be out at the local pond. We could be at any one of these places or all of them throughout the course of the day. And as long as we were back in the house by the time the sun hit the horizon, they were good with it. When the wife and I went back to my hometown to get married, and we were getting married, I showed her where we lived at the time. And I took her to a few of the places that we would go to on our bicycles. Now, my wife grew up in town. I grew up out in the country. Well, it took us almost 20 minutes to get there by car. She's going, "You are allowed to go this far from home on a Saturday?" Yeah. Yeah, we did it almost every Saturday unless the snow was too deep to let us out. Then I showed her, again, same house where I walked to every is either Tuesday or Wednesday night for my Boy Scout meetings. Now the Scoutmaster drove me home, or my dad would come by and pick me up after the meeting. But I walked to the meeting during the day because it would be daylight out. It was maybe 5 miles. Meeting started at 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'd leave the house 5:30, 6, and get there in plenty of time. The wife was like, "You were allowed to walk this far by yourself?" Yeah. Unless it was pouring down rain, I walked that every Tuesday or Wednesday night for my scout meetings. Now, I was 15, 16 years old at the time, but still. So, I mean, we're really doing some crazy things. Let's see here. Have y'all seen Kamala out there proclaiming her love for Gen Z? Oh, do I want to do this? Okay, well, wait a minute. I've got 15 minutes left here. Let's go to this Megyn Kelly story that I first started, and we're going back to the media and the spin the media puts on things. Now, we saw CBS got in trouble for editing Kamala's answer and making her sound more intelligent than what her answer actually was. Well, Megyn Kelly had this on her stream the other night. I'll tell you, I'm starting to regain my trust of Megyn Kelly. She's getting a lot more free with the F-bomb than I like, but I'm starting to trust her a little bit more than what I did 8 years ago.
Most people have no clue that in 2024, the best way to make money with Amazon is not by selling physical products. It's Amazon's other.
Hey everyone, I'm Megyn Kelly. Welcome to the Megyn Kelly Show.
Oh.
Well, it does. We get Speaker Johnson on the CBS Sunday Show and the VP debate moderator, Margaret Brennan, who asks him a question about hurricane relief. And I'm going to show you the version that aired, and he taped himself giving the answer and then released his full answer.
So they've obligated some funds, but they've only distributed 2%. The rescue and recovery effort's still going on, and then we address the rest of it. Yeah, so they've obligated some funds, but they've...
All right. So you saw that. I mean, I didn't time it, but it was what, like they showed a 10-second answer on CBS that, as if he only gave a 10-second answer to the question.
only distributed 2%. And when I was there on the ground, and you should go, I mean, bring the cameras and talk to the people there. They'll tell you, don't take politicians' words for this or the administration's word. Talk to the people there on the ground. They had not been provided the resources almost 2 weeks out from the storm that they desperately needed. And when I was there, 13 days post the storm hitting that state, people are still being rescued. They're stuck in the higher elevations in the mountains because the roads are down and all the rest. So they need every available resource and all hands on deck.
We get Speaker Johnson on the CBS.
Now, why couldn't CBS have aired that entire answer? Yeah, I haven't seen Kamala do Jack. Yeah, Ron. Okay, Neil. It took me a second to understand what you were talking about there. I don't know. All that had been before the video would have been that. I don't know that Willie Brown always did have a lot of money. So he may have had some in-home security to show. But CBS edits Kamala's answer to make her seem more intelligent. And they turn around and edit Speaker Johnson, of whom I'm no great fan. I mean, he's better than Ryan was, but I'm still not a big fan of him. To make him seem as if he doesn't give a damn. I mean, that he's a cold-hearted SOB and doesn't care. Shio! Welcome, bud. We were just talking about you the other day. If I was saying that somebody was dropping some pretty good dad jokes, and I said that if that particular day, if you and him ever got together, this stream would be worthless because I'd just be doing nothing but laughing. Oh, Raman, don't read Shio's jokes. Don't read them. I'm warning you. Giving you kind advice. He's starting off. I love it. But I dare you to tell me that the media isn't. I mean, we know that the media is biased so hard to the left. Walter Cronkite. Now, I'm really going to go back. A lot of y'all aren't old enough to have watched Walter Cronkite. I remember him and his black horn-rimmed glasses. He'd take them off at the end of the show, and that's the way it was. October 21st, 1973. Or whatever year it was. And everybody trusted him. He was the most trusted newsman in America at the time. When he changed when his reporting on the Tet Offensive was done, Johnson, I believe, was quoted as saying, if we've lost Cronkite, we've lost America. Now, Cronkite really was a liberal, but it didn't come across in his reporting as badly as the reporting does today. Nah, he wasn't the only one. But he was the most watched. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to use this last video. This is going to be my way going out this morning, because I do not want to get into Ilhan Omar today. My brother-in-law's coming into town day after or on Friday, and I have got to start getting stuff together for him. So, where is it? Where did it go? Here it is. We'll just use, we're going to go out on a piece of hypocrisy here by Kamala. Because, she's really fighting hard. She's really depending on the 18 to 25 voters and women. That's who she's really fighting hard to get.
I'll tell you, and I know this is a controversial topic for many of us, I love Gen Z. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid.
That should be that should be played daily. She sits there and says, she's now saying how much she loves them because she wants their vote. But not all that long ago, she's proclaiming how stupid they were, so stupid that they live in the dorms, that they have to live in the dorms with teacher assistants all the time. So, all right, ladies and gents, I am going to call it here, because if I start anything else, it's going to go at least another half hour or so. And I just don't have time to do that today. The honeydew list grows with the ever longer with the brother-in-law showing up. So I want everybody to have a good day. Enjoy yourselves. Tomorrow is always going to be an iffy day. So be good. Try to stay out of trouble. If you can't stay out of trouble, have as least much fun getting out of it as you did getting in it. And of course, be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. Bye.